Alright, so the other day we made a video talking about a prominent first-round pick of yesteryear who is now apparently available on the trade market. And we spoke about how the Canucks, the Oilers, the Sharks, apparently they're in a bidding war for this guy. His services could be available, the Chicago Blackhawks could be sending him away, and we spoke about him in that context, right? Well, the guy is Lukas Reichel, a former first-round pick in the 2020 NHL Entry Draft, who has somewhat fallen out of favor with the Blackhawks. He is now being shopped, and his future remains to be seen. He signed on till the end of this upcoming season, making $1.2 million a year, and he had 22 points in 70 games the most recent campaign. Reason for the video today is the fact that not only are the Canucks, Sharks, and Oilers linked to this guy, but a new challenger has entered the realm. Take a look at this tweet posted by NHL Rumor Report that cites what David Pagnotta said 2 days ago on Jeff Merrick's podcast, The Sheet. He said Vancouver, San Jose, Edmonton, and the Detroit Red Wings are all in there. Okay, that's quite the conversation, isn't it? Now, Red Wings fans, y'all can essentially just check out the last video if you wanted to see the scoop on this guy and what he's capable of bringing, but I mean, a lot of the replies are going out there and saying different things. Oh, he should be a Red Wing. Oh, we don't need another Jonathan Berggren. So let's dive into this right here. Let's get into some of the other teams and then just dive into Red Wings territory as well. Starting things out, though, this is what Elliotte Friedman said on 32 Thoughts yesterday regarding that same Lukas Reichel. Chicago's just trying to see what's out there. I heard there was one team that threw a later draft pick at them, and we'll see where that goes. I don't think there's any shortage of interest, though. So, obviously, you might be forced to see Lukas Reichel get traded for a return that's a lot less significant than the first-round pick that was used to take him in the first place. In the previous video, we compared his situation to one of Vasily Podkolzin in Vancouver, who was also a top first-round pick, who inevitably got traded for a fourth. That was pure mismanagement by the Vancouver Canucks, and now Vasily Podkolzin is signed on for a little while, making sub $3 million. So obviously, that prospect didn't end up becoming a first-round caliber guy, despite what Leon Draisaitl might have to say about how nice it is to play with him. But you also have yourselves the Lukas Reichel situation. He hasn't had any chance to break out. He hasn't been too consistent. When he was a younger prospect in Germany, there was a lot of offensive upside and talent there. A lot of people were talking about how he could be one of the best German prospects coming out of the country. I mean, obviously, it's tough to follow Leon Draisaitl and Moritz Seider, but Reichel was right in that conversation alongside of guys like J.J. Peterka and others to carry that torch. But Reichel, unfortunately, has not been able to find his groove in Chicago, and it's quite the shame, really. If he was able to become the 65-ish point caliber guy that a lot of Blackhawks fans thought they were getting when they drafted him 17th overall, he'd be a really good stopgap in between the Connor Bedard shifts and between whomever else it is Chicago would end up developing long-term. Reichel does have talent, but he's 23 years old. He is starting, I'd say, to get up there a little bit in terms of his age. Not to say that he's totally out to lunch and he's not capable of getting any better, but this is a guy who, at his best, is just a productive AHLer right now. He needs to show off more at the National Hockey League level, and it's quite unfortunate because, as you saw with the production, this guy was really productive in the American Hockey League the past few years. In fact, he started out his AHL situation as a point-per-game guy, so obviously there is offensive potential there. He just hasn't put it together at the National Hockey League level. Chicago, they're not necessarily being patient with this guy anymore. They're just saying, hey, let's see what we got. Let's see what other teams are willing to offer this guy. And for the Detroit Red Wings, Lukas Reichel would fit with that age range of players that Stevie Y is targeting. He'd be right smack dab in the middle there. Same age as Lucas Raymond, same draft class as him too. Just a little older than the Kaspers, Brandstad Newgards, the Danielsons, the Lombardis, the Emmett Finneys, all the guys that have made impacts so far throughout the preseason. But still, Lukas Reichel might not be showing off all too well compared to those guys, which is, I think, the biggest obstacle that you have at your disposal when thinking about this guy as a fit. If the cost isn't that much, if it's like a 4th-round pick or a 3rd-round pick, then I don't think any team really has anything to lose by trading for this guy. San Jose, Edmonton, Vancouver, or Detroit. But for the Red Wings in particular, this might not necessarily be the trade that I think moves the needle in the ways that Stevie Y would prefer. The Red Wings can't really afford to be fumbling moves at this point. They can't afford to have a guy not work out because times are getting tough. The fan base is getting desperate. Sure, there was some really good optimism from this preseason, but that needs to carry into the regular season for fans to be happy. Yes, they're happy right now, but if the team starts losing again like they have been for the past decade, then no one's going to be happy by the time December rolls around. And Lukas Reichel is not the guy to go from 0 to 100 in terms of moving that needle. He is just an extra piece at this point. One of the comments said, oh, we don't need another Jonathan Berggren. It's true that you would hope that Reichel becomes more than Berggren at some point, but the fact that you can't guarantee that for this season is a red flag. So even if the cost is cheap, I don't know if this is necessarily a guy that would benefit the Red Wings in a major way, unless, of course, he were to explode and fulfill that potential that he's got. It's definitely not guaranteed that he does that, but if he does do it, then okay, that's great. But in terms of developing him, in terms of giving him room, in terms of allowing him the space to breathe, I'd probably say San Jose is the best option here. You know, if he's good enough, then I'd like him on the Vancouver Canucks, but the fact that you can't guarantee that means that there's a red flag there. Chicago wasn't able to develop this guy. What more in a team where he's not able to get much ice time and he's fighting for roster spots with a lot better competition? I just don't really see it happening here. For Detroit, I think that their forward core is a little bit worse than Vancouver's at this point, so I can understand if they're going out there and trying to make it happen. If they do believe in that potential, I could see Stevie Yzerman making it work, but we'll see, right? That's just the entire point of having this conversation. If you're a Red Wings fan, I want you to let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. How do you feel about Lukas Reichel of the Chicago Blackhawks? And do you think this guy has what it takes to be a meaningful addition to the Red Wings? I'd say he has what it takes, but whether or not he shows it and he displays those skills, that's another conversation. So with that in mind, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. If you enjoyed this video, feel free to hit the like button. If you did not, then hey, the dislike button's down there for you as well. Comments help out with the algorithm, so I'd appreciate you getting involved in the discussion. I hope you enjoyed this video. 99, and bye.